members and stuff like that.
I think we just need to make sure that the party reflects the people instead of a faction of the party. I think that's been kind of the problem.
Well, it's a problem that's been bubbling under the surface, oozing toward this solution for a couple of years now. Back in the summer of 2022, under the new leadership of Chair Dorothy Moon, Idaho's GOP established their new party platform, a return to conservative principles, they called it. They also passed their state party rules, which have been changed a couple of times since then. But Article 20, Idaho Republican Party platform enforcement, has been a staple since the summer of 2023. That's been giving county and central and legislative district committees the ability to censure a lawmaker for not following said party platform closely enough. And several have wielded that power several times, something we highlighted on the 208 last fall. But last week, one committee in Bonneville County took the ultimate step allowed in the party rules playbook. They have not only censured a sitting senator and representative, but they claim one of them, leading up to a closed primary election, is no longer allowed to run as a Republican, something she found out about only yesterday.
I'm first going to discuss Stephanie Mickelson.
Last Thursday evening, the Legislative District 32 Republican Committee met to decide whether Representative Stephanie Mickelson and Senator Kevin Cook violated Idaho's Republican Party platform. However, neither lawmaker attended to defend their state house voting record.
I didn't attend because, for one thing, I was in the middle of the legislative session, and my most important responsibility is to be here to make votes for my constituents.
She's playing a public game.
So the meeting went on without them. And the result?
We want to live in a society where somebody can promise anything and then not abide by that promise.
Wasn't much of a surprise to Representative Mickelson.
I figured that it was coming at some point. It was just a matter of when.
It's an outcome that's been coming since last fall.
I personally think that there's a lot of hubris there on their part to think that they know more than the voters.
When Mickelson was first censured for her votes last session. But last week, in executive session, LD 32 took it a step further, censuring Representative Mickelson again with respect to school choice and parental rights, with respect to party disaffiliation, and for conduct unbecoming of a Republican representative. But also, based on Article 20 of the party platform, resolved Representative Mickelson isn't a real Republican. What does this mean?
Well, I think for them, they think it means that they can stop me from running as a Republican for the next 5 years.
And can they?
Well, I don't think they can. I think I meet the qualifications of being a Republican in this state, and I have every right to affiliate the way I choose and to run in that party.
Okay, so their argument is you signed the party platform agreement and the party affiliation agreement, basically saying you agreed to follow the party platform.
Right. Well, I signed the party platform and affiliation pledge in 2022, in January or February of 2022, with a few exceptions. What they forget is that then they went and have had multiple meetings since then and have changed that party platform and loyalty and affiliation pledge. So they came back to me in January and said, hey, we want you to fill out this questionnaire and re-sign the party affiliation pledge. And to which I responded, I will not be signing any more party or loyalty and affiliation pledges, because then they turn around and they beat you up with it on the other side. So the question is where do I owe my loyalties? My loyalties are to the state constitution, to the United States Constitution, and to my constituents, because that's ultimately who voted me into this seat. And I'm a Republican. I'm tired of being told I'm not a Republican because I'm not pure according to their purity test.
But according to the cover letter from District 32 Chairman Doyle Beck, this is not about any purity test. This is about an integrity test. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that at all. That's always been what this has been about, is that they want to purge the party of the people that they don't think fit their ideal of what is a Republican.
So now what?
I'm going to continue to run my campaign. I'm going to run for office. I've already filed my paperwork last week early on, and I intend to go out and campaign, and I think that you will find I have lots of support out in my community.
Does this change anything that you do?
No, I think it makes me more impassioned to go out and to stand up for those people in my district, especially for the people within our area that continually are being bullied by this faction of the party. If Mr. Beck is who the people want, I think he ought to file, and I think he ought to run on a ballot. But I think he and I both know that he could never get elected by the people in Bonneville County.
Some might say that this grief isn't worth it.
You know, at times I've asked myself if this grief is worth it, but at the end of the day, I think we have to step back and we have to say, if not me, then who? And how many people can stand up to this relentless amount of attacks that come from this faction of the party?
Okay, so the question is this even legal? Well, the Secretary of State told us today they are still looking into it. We did reach out to Legislative District 32 Chair Doyle Beck, but his response to us today was the same as last time. Your reputation precedes you. I'm out. No thanks. Everyone I talked to says you're unfair and unbalanced, one-sided. Many people are saying. Okay, so to be fair, to be more than one-sided, we gave him every opportunity to tell the committee's side of the story. The choice to censure Representative Mickelson wasn't unanimous, by the way. In fact, the 3 precinct committee members who didn't agree with the decision, well, they submitted their protest in writing. And Senator Cook, who was also censured by the district committee but not told he couldn't run as a Republican, has the full backing of the Senate Majority Caucus. They sent out this statement today stating they strongly support Senator Cook as a respected member of our caucus. He works for his constituents and upholds the core conservative principles of our party. The attempt to exploit the electoral process and dictate party allegiance is a dangerous overreach, undermining the fundamental principles of our democratic system. We support Senator Cook and all who face attempts at intimidation by groups seeking to usurp the power rightfully held by the electorate.